Every single week, we have created a platform right here on the Weekend Report where, in the build-up to our 2024 elections, we are hosting a roundtable debate, our Future Voices feature, where we engage young political leaders from various parties. And today, I am joined by Nyati, who joins us via Zoom, who is with us here on the Weekend Report. We've also got Sihle Lonzi of the EFF. He's the EFF Student Command Leader. We've got Zondo in the studio, the NFP Gauteng Youth and Student Movement. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us, and welcome to the Weekend Report.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so first and foremost, I think I will start with you. Nicholas, what is the DA doing in the Western Cape, particularly Khayelitsha, Gugulethu, Kwalanga, other townships, to help the youth with job creation and opportunities? Because the youth has been complaining that they feel isolated and neglected in those parts of South Africa, particularly by your party.
Thank you very much, Masechaba. Good morning to you and to the gentleman in studio. First of all, if you look at science or if you look at data, because I know people are going to want to bring emotions and emotional debate to your question. If you look at the Western Cape, when you compare it to the rest of the country, it has the lowest unemployment rate. If you look at the last quarter that was released in terms of job creation, Western Cape created the most jobs. I'm not going to stand in front of you or rather speak in front of you and say the Western Cape is perfect, because it is not. But I can boldly say that the Western Cape is better than most provinces. I have my brothers and sisters who leave the Eastern Cape, who leave other provinces to go to the Western Cape to seek better opportunities. Now, your question is, what have we done as a government? As a government, we've allowed to bring opportunities closer to our people in Khayelitsha, in Kwalanga, and all in these places.
Okay, wait, I have to stop you right there. When you say better, what do you mean? We need facts, we need information.
I've just given it to you now. Lowest unemployment rate in South Africa is in the Western Cape. Lowest job creation in South Africa is in the Western Cape. This is not me that is saying it. This is all the agencies in South Africa. And how we've managed to achieve this is that we spend our budget, both municipal and provincial budget. This is not me. This is National Treasury that is saying that. We take our money, we spend it where it is meant to be spent on. This is not me again. This is the Auditor General that says best run municipalities in the country are in Western Cape. Best run province in the country is in the Western Cape. When you do this, you are able to attract investment, not just only for people who stay in Cape Town, but also for people who stay in Kwalanga and Khayelitsha. I will not lie. Kwalanga and Khayelitsha are not perfect because of the infrastructural backlog. But what have we done to address that? We've invested heavily instead of in terms of infrastructural development. We are spending more than 3 billion in the next 5 years in Kwalanga to develop their sewerage system, because the population has grown rapidly. We are spending millions. Now currently we are busy with a housing project to address the housing backlog in Kwalanga. Why is there a housing backlog? Because of the immigration. People relocating from other provinces to move to the Western Cape. We are fighting crime. We started a program called Leap with the province, where we went to Kwalanga. If you look at the recent crime stats, Western Cape is the only province where violent crimes have decreased. KZN has increased, Eastern Cape has increased. If you look at the crime stats in terms of murder rates, Port Elizabeth, in the Eastern Cape, is #1 in the country. Before that, it was Ilanga in Western Cape. So you can see that the DA is really doing something to address those challenges. Is it perfect?
We'll leave it right there for a second.
But we're doing everything in our power.
Thank you. We'll leave it right there just to give other comrades an opportunity to respond. Sanele, so just yesterday, the NFP was launching its manifesto. So one of the things said in the speech was that the power, I will translate it into English for the purpose of our viewers, but the power to take yourself out of poverty is in your hands. So what does this mean for the youth of South Africa? How is the NFP empowering the youth?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Shezi, and so I think the NFP, one thing that we have been trying to do, and especially for the youth, is that they need to be a part of the conversation. young people, for the longest time, and especially for the NFP, because we focus extremely on the underdeveloped, we focus extremely on rural areas. We want to take young people out of poverty, and we do believe, especially young people, we have the power. And we don't sometimes see that we do. So it is of pivotal importance, and that's why our president yesterday was mentioning that the power is in our hands, because it really is. As young people, we need to go out and we need to protest with the power of voting and showcase that we want a change. We want a change in KZN, we want a change in Gauteng, we want a change in South Africa. If there is a plan to go live on Mars, but there isn't, this world needs to work for us as young people, and we need to get up and make a change. And that is only through us coming together as young people and saying, guys, we know that there are no jobs in South Africa. We know that opportunities are not there. We know that the government of the day is not taking us into account. So we need to come together and ensure that the government that will represent us is reflective of who we are as young people.
So coming to you now, Sihle. All right. So what is the EFF doing in light of the fact that we understand the statistics, we know what is happening with the young people of South Africa in terms of unemployment levels? What are you doing, or what do you intend to do? What's your plan to create more job opportunities?
Thank you very much for having us on the show. I think all South Africans can agree that there is no other political organization that has made politics popular and fashionable amongst young people in South Africa post-1994. So I think the first curse we had to break was to ensure that young people are involved in the political discussions. Before, there was a lot of apathy, not interested in voting, not interested in parliament. But as soon as the EFF started to participate, now young people started to see that maybe politics is something that we should involve ourselves in. So we've certainly raised the voice of young people in South Africa. I think we've seen in institutions of higher learning, the young intelligentsia, but also within our communities. So the EFF makes a simple case. It says land now, jobs now, stop load shedding. So one of the biggest things that is confronting young people in South Africa is joblessness. I think the government of the day simply has no plan in terms of how it's going to create jobs for young people in South Africa. I mean, the president of South Africa, whilst he's doing door-to-door, encounters a young person, a graduate, 23 years old, says, Mr. President, I'm unemployed, but I'm a graduate. And then his response to the young lady is, keep searching. So I think that's been the message of the ANC since 1994 to the youth of South Africa, that all the young people, more than 50% of the youth that are unemployed, the message of the ANC is that keep searching. What does the EFF say? The EFF says if you want to create jobs, you must industrialize your economy, because that's where you get the jobs. That's where you build skills through your CETAs, through your TVET colleges, and then through industrialization, through local production of our raw materials. We say, no, we don't want to just have an extraction of our raw materials going overseas to the multinational corporations, but we want to produce everything locally. That's how you create jobs for young people. The EFF also says, if you are a graduate and you don't have a job and you are looking for a job, the government must give you what is called a job-seeking allowance. Because there's data that says it takes money.
Job-seeking allowance.
It takes money to look for a job. You must take a taxi, you must go to an interview, you get rejected. On your way to the interview, you must get lunch. You must go and print out your CVs. If you are applying online, you must buy data. So there's data that shows that at least about 1,000 rand that you need for you to be able to look for a job without even getting it. So we're saying if you're unemployed, you're looking for a job, the EFF government will give you a
That's quite revolutionary, but let's hold it right there. Nicholas and Innocent have been shaking their heads at different parts of this particular part of the conversation. Nicholas, I'll start with you. So why were you shaking your head?
Well, it's almost everything, but I don't want to take your time by responding to all of it. But I think what Sihle is saying is nothing new. If you go to the Western Cape, a young person who's a job seeker can access our buses and go and look for a job. A young person in Western Cape can print their CV for free in our youth centers. A young person in Western Cape can go to our youth centers and
where are the youth centers? I'm sorry, where are these youth centers?
These youth centers are in Khayelitsha, in Okalanga. Sihle knows, he's from Cape Town. Okay. But people don't speak about it.
I've never seen a single youth center.
He's saying he's from Cape Town, he's never seen a single...
So, you see, and I wanted to make...
Maybe the viewers can verify this.
I wanted to make this point.
Maybe they can tweet us at Newzroom 405 if you've had the privilege of accessing these youth centers please let us know, or if not, let's see
Very
the
quick,
engagement. Yeah.
Very quickly, so I wanted to make this point when you were saying the DA has the highest levels of youth employment and all of this. I think the DA represents the highest levels of inequality in South Africa. So the question we must ask when the DA says to us, we're a good government, we've got jobs for youth, which youth are receiving jobs? If we take a Model C school in the southern suburbs, in the Western Cape, and we juxtapose it against a township school in Gugulethu, Khalicha or Langa, he must tell us that the same services that are in Rondebosch are the same services that are in Khalicha. So the buses he talks about is My City. My City doesn't enter the township. He knows it doesn't go to Gugulethu, doesn't go to Langa. He tried to have a deal with the taxi ranks in Khalicha, but even there it's unsuccessful. It's simply not.
We need the facts.
He must tell us he has seen a My City bus in Gugulethu and in Langa.
Let's give him an opportunity to respond.
We can make this thing very simple. Sihle, I think he spent too much time in Gauteng. The buses that I'm speaking about is Golden Arrow. He's busy quoting My City. I'm speaking about the youth center in Kwalanga. He knows about this. But he's going to come here and want to grandstand. I don't blame him. It's fine. When we speak about employment opportunities...
All right, hold on a second, Nicholas. Hold on a second, Nicholas. Hold on a second. If you live in Kwalanga, please tweet us and let us know if you've got access to these resources.
That took you to a job-seeking center.
I want to bring you in here, Innocent. You were also shaking your head. What in particular do you disagree with?
You know, I think it is really phenomenal what political parties can say and what political parties can promise South African youth. We need to look at what is being done. What the EFF is saying, it is something that has been said, and it is something that is great for politics, just to be able to get young people excited for what might and might not happen. We need to look at what is being done where the young people are. Where the NFP rules, which is Edumbe local municipality and Nongoma. And also let's look at the legacy of Zanele Makwaza Msibi. When she was a mayor in Zululand, young people were actually given opportunities, practical things. There are young people that you can go to, that you can ask today, that can tell you tangible things that they got from the leadership of the NFP, from the rule of the NFP. It is great when we say these things to young people, but will it actually happen? That will forever be our question.
What are you doing to
people.
make it happen?
Right now, when we go into these local municipalities, like I'm saying right now, the mayors and the leadership right there are making sure that young people come through. Let's help you skills development. I am extremely big on that. As a youth leader myself, I'm always saying, young people, let's go into entrepreneurship. Let us get skills that can help you to be able to stand out and be able to make a living for yourself. When political parties come with promises like this, my question will forever be, what have you done? What can you produce to young people to say, actually, we've done this? We can all go and debate, but we need action. It's not a promise.
Each and every year at the beginning of the year, it is the EFF that is at the gates of all institutions of higher learning, ensuring that students are registering for free, ensuring that students have student accommodation, ensuring that all services and the university responds to the needs of students. When the National Student Financial Aid Scheme is not giving student allowances, it is the EFF that is at the forefront. When government said they were not going to allow walk-ins because there will be, stampedes and all of that, it's the EFF that said, we're going to allow walk-ins, we're going to take them and bring it. When Minister Blaine Zimande said 20,000 students at UNISA are going to be deregistered, it is the EFF that fought that case, both in the streets and took it to court, and even won the court case to ensure that those 20,000 students. So you can't say we're just making promises. We must make these promises because we're going to an election. But at the same time, we have traction in terms of the work that we've been doing.
I'd like to bring in another issue here. We know that EFF is calling on the government to open borders. I mean, do you think that this is practical, especially in light of the fact that, we hear doctors complaining that they are not employed, especially because apparently institutions or hospitals, the medical fraternity is prioritizing international doctors over our local doctors. What do you say about that?
So I think generally, especially us as young people, I think we must raise the discussion around the open border policy. I think we've been discussing it at a very surface level. So there's an economic principle called mercantilism. So the idea behind is that let's protect local markets. Let's rather get more exports than imports. So we want money coming into South Africa than leaving South Africa. So as a young South African, if you say, for example, let's put South Africa first, you must ask, let's put South Africa first, who is producing all the things that South Africa is using? I mean, the EFF always makes the case that a washing rag, for argument's sake, we import washing rags. Why can't we have our own factories where we manufacture our own washing rags, manufacture our own tools that we use? That way we create jobs for young people. So I don't think we must be having a discussion about who is selling a banana or oranges in the streets. We must be able to say, if we're having a sophisticated discussion about put South Africa first, we want the international companies to be taxed so that they can contribute to the development of South Africa. So the other point which I want to make is that...
Wait, we will make your other point in just a second. Yeah. We just have to hold it right there. You're watching the Weekend Report. I'm Masechaba Khumalo. We need to take a short break. I'm in studio with Nicholas Nyati, the DA youth leader, as well as Sihle Lonzi, EFF student command leader, and Innocent Shezi, the NFP Gauteng youth and student movement leader. We continue with this discussion shortly. Welcome back to the Weekend Report. I'm Masechaba Khumalo. So in our Future Voices Young Leaders Debate, I'm sitting here in studio with Nicholas Nyati, who joins us via Zoom, our DA youth leader, and Sihle Lonzi, who's the EFF student command leader, as well as Innocent Shezi, who's the NFP Gauteng youth and student movement leader. And we were just engaging on the EFF's policy or stance on the open border policy. And I'd like to come to you, Nicholas. What are your viewpoints around this?
When the DA takes over, we are going to secure our borders. We will close them, the opposite of what the EFF wants to do. And we are doing this because you cannot, as a country, there is no country in the world that operates with open borders where people can just come in and go as they like. After doing this, we're going to strengthen Home Affairs to ensure that we deport any illegal foreigner that is in this country. And we don't care whether you're from China, whether you're from Germany, whether you're from Zimbabwe. If you are here illegally, we will deport you back to your country. We can never build a country where we cannot account for the people that are in that country. Again, this open border policy proves that the EFF is, and those are populists. Who will open borders benefit? It will benefit Julius's friend, Mazoti, so that he can smuggle his cigarettes into this country. We will never allow that.
Ridiculous.
I think it's ridiculous.
So Sihle says it's ridiculous. Why do you think so?
As a young person, I would want to believe that Nicholas will have a much more higher level of engagement. The EFF open border policy is not mutually exclusive to ensuring that there's documentation in Africa. Everyone must be documented. We must know, we must have the state, must have your fingerprints, we must have your IDs, we must have, for example, in Europe has open border policies, but they still know who is coming in. This guy is coming from Italy, this guy is coming in from Germany. So the idea that when we're saying we're going to have an open border policy, people are just going to enter. We even want, by the way, we saw with Thabo Bester, we even have South Africans whom the Home Affairs doesn't even know whether or not they exist. And
look at that result.
And that is what causes crime. Crime is not caused by the fact that there's an EFF open border policy. No, crime is caused by the fact that someone can commit a crime somewhere in South Africa and we don't have a way of tracking and finding out who that person is. All
right, the both of you are making valid points. I hear the both of you. But what do you have to say, Innocent?
As the NFP yesterday, our president made a very remarkable, mention, and he said we are all Africans. But the issue is that our systems in South Africa are very, very weak. So we need to make sure that everybody is documented. That's very, very important. And we need to make sure that everything that is happening within this country of South Africa, everything, because of these systems that we have, Home Affairs, it is a sham, really. And there needs to be real development within there. And we need to make sure everybody is documented. But we need to remember that we are all Africans. And that's what I can say.
All right. So in 30 seconds, Nicholas, why should young people of South Africa vote for the DA?
We have experienced 30 years of this uncaring government. Recently, I've been touring the Eastern Cape and the situation is dire. The DA is not promising you heaven on earth, but we are giving you 7 apex priorities. We promise to create jobs. We promise to take you out of the poverty line. And do not just take our words, but look at where we're going. I think that young people in 1994 might have voted for their freedom, but in 2024, we have to vote for our survival, because the choice is very simple. Do we continue to die, or do we vote for a prosperous future that can be able to uplift all of us?
Innocent, why should young people vote NFP?
The NFP, in its 15-point manifesto, in every single point, the youth are really integrated into those points. We are the only party that is ensuring that really we go to the young people, we bring them on board to make sure that they're represented, because we need to have our own voices to be heard. And we cannot send people to do that job for us, but we need to be the ones who are speaking for ourselves as young people. So I do believe that young people have a home within the National Freedom Party, and that's why they should vote NFP.
Sihle, why should young people vote
Young
EFF?
people must vote EFF because our message is simple. If the old people fought for political power and freedom in 1994, or rather voted for that, we now have an opportunity to vote for economic power. Because we are saying, if I don't have a job, it's useless for me to go and vote. If the political power can't give me free education, what use is that political power? If the political power can't give me resources for my business, if I'm a young entrepreneur, that political power is useless. So we are saying, 1994, our elders fought for political power. But now we want economic power. We want jobs for youth. We want land. We want load shedding to end.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time. Thank you very much, Nicholas. Thank you, Sihle. Thank you, Innocent.
Thank you so much.
All right. So Sihle Lonzi, who is the EFF Student Command Leader, and Innocent Shezi of the National Freedom Party Gauteng Leader and Student Movement National Spokesperson, joined me in the studio, while Nicholas Nyati joined us, the Youth Leader for the Democratic Alliance, via Zoom.